Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sears. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Bierhorski, coming to you live from the East Coast. It's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a dream. Yum, 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 yummity yum. Bring your sour cream.
Yeah, gotta love Taco Tuesday, celebrating the diversity of food in these United States.
Yes. Did you have any today? Have any tacos today?
Actually, I did. I had some chicken tacos.
Oh, nice. My favorites.
Yes, it was actually kind of different because it was actually like a chicken tender type taco. So it was like fried chicken as a taco.
Were you at Taco Bell?
No, I was not at Taco Bell.
That's some Taco Bell crap if I ever heard
Rubio's. It's definitely some California stuff. It ain't normal. It ain't normal. I wholly acknowledge that it ain't normal, but it was in a taco shell. It had taco sauce. It qualifies.
Gotcha. Well, I did not have any tacos on Taco Tuesday because I'm still celebrating Root Canal Monday. So.
Oh, well, yeah, that had to have been fun.
Oh.
Root canals are rarely fun. And even if they're okay during the root canal, usually the after effect is not fun.
See, the fun part is when he puts the needle in and he's like, and he's like, oh, that's where the nerve should be. And he starts doing this with the needle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he pulls it out and he goes to start. And I'm like, I can still feel that. And he goes,
right.
How are you able to talk? And like 10 more times to try and get it. 10 more times to get it.
Yeah, like especially when they like that.
Last time I looked at him, I said, if you don't knock me out, I'm knocking you out. So
there you go. It's like, are your knuckles supposed to be hitting the roof of my mouth?
Yeah, exactly.
When you're getting that needle in there, it's like they get it in there, and it's like they hold it for a while. It's like, are you gonna?
Yeah, I mean, really, he came back over after the fourth or fifth attempt and said, I guess, okay, let's get started. How you feel? And I went, I feel good. And he was like, how are you able to talk? Your face should be ready to fall off. And I'm like, Doc, I can feel everything. You're not hitting the nerve. I mean, where you're hitting the surface is working, but you're not getting the nerve. You know, the gums are jaw, but the nerve the tooth is not. So,
well, there you go. Well, did he eventually wind up knocking you out?
No, he actually went to I guess where people that have nerves that don't respond, and it's probably because of all the sports and everything and the hits in the face, and they take it throughout the years. He had to go to a different nerve that ran down that way.
There you go. All right, well, good that you got your root canaled.
Yeah, it's this one.
It's that one right there. There you go. Good job. Yeah. We're not going to be doing any close-ups. But anyway, so we're going to be having a good week this week. I already said we're not doing Thanksgiving, and I'm voting for taking Friday off as well. But today and tomorrow, I think we're good.
It's like Wednesday's my cooking day.
Oh, well.
You're gonna have to call me. I'll come out here with my Swedish chef outfit on.
Every time I hear that, it reminds me though of not just that, but then it reminds me of was it Team America, Durka Durka
Jihad, Durka Jihad. I'm telling you, we called them the Durka Durkas. We got told we couldn't call them the Hodge. because they said it's disrespectful, and we're like, no, sir, that's actually the opposite. Haji means they've made the Hajj. It's
right.
But they didn't know, so we just changed to Durka Durkas because that movie had just come out. So we called them the Durkas and the Durka Durkas.
Yeah, well, most of the people who are the politically correct police have absolutely no idea what is actually offensive. You know, they're smart enough to like, keep in mind, these are the people who tell Latinos who like 3% want to be called Latinx, tell them, oh yeah, you should be called Latinx. You should go by Latinx. That's what you should go by. Not Latino, not Latina. No, we're going to call you Latinx. Did you see that poll, by the way, they did of they were polling like the not, it wasn't just a poll. First they did a poll, then they actually talked to the heads of the tribe that the image of the Redskins mascot. Remember the image they used to have on the side of their helmet?
Yes.
The chief they had. They actually wrote a letter to the Washington Commanders asking them to put dude back on the helmet.
Yeah. Well, they also used to get paid for it, but yeah. I did see, going back to Latinx, that when they were interviewing your governor, wannabe president, Governor Mussolini, they asked him about Latinx, and he said he'd never said it, never promoted it, he doesn't support its use. And then the next clip was him saying it 47 times.
Yes, exactly. He is Governor Mussolini, and his name is Newsom, but I call him Mussolini. I've just, the idea, the fact that he is just, there's absolutely positively nothing honest about the guy. Yeah. Nothing. I've never known somebody so blatantly dishonest, someone who will just get up there and lie at a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And is the epitome of slimy, but yet somehow keeps getting promoted.
I'd be willing to say he lies more than a Clinton. Now, don't get crazy. I mean, the Clintons still suicide more people than he does, but just.
I don't think he's suicided anybody. I mean, if that were the case, his current chief of staff better watch your back. Because I'm wondering what's she going to give up in order to get out of that little pickle she's in.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a shout out here from Real Alberto Orozco. He gave us a shout out, get a little smiley face saying what's up. Where you let us know, Mr. Alberto, the Real Alberto, where you're watching the program from.
Wait.
But by the way, that's just to let y'all know.
It's the real Alberto? You're not talking
this
to the fake
real
Alberto. That's the real Alberto? Okay, got it.
Not the fake one. This is the real one. This is the real one right here.
Real Alberto. Got it.
The original Real Alberto. He's watching us all over on YouTube. Nice. But folks, if you're watching the program 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, you're watching us live and we're taking your comments. So go ahead, let us know what's up. Let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know what you think about the program, what you think about the topic, if you find it interesting, if you don't. You don't even have to agree with us. We don't care if you agree with us or not, because, if you disagree with us, it gives us an even more of an opportunity to be entertained, because we then get the opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
It's
we do it.
Florida. It actually sounds a lot like DeSantis. The voices are very similar.
It does sound a lot like DeSantis. I just really want to see. It is amazing. I just really felt bad that during the presidential election, Ron DeSantis just did not have that. He governs with much more oomph and confidence than he campaigns.
So, yes. He's a great guy. He does incredible things.
Mm-hmm.
But Greg, even listen, it's like imagine standing on stage with George Washington. It's just like, I mean, here's Donald Trump, and I'm not comparing him with George Washington, but Trump was doing something nobody had ever done before and was standing on stage destroying people. I think I'd probably keep my mouth shut too.
Yeah. Would have probably thought twice about engaging Mr. Trump in a negative fashion.
And now, like you said, it wouldn't happen. He played ball. Look where he is now.
Yes.
They're best buds.
I didn't say it wouldn't happen. I said he wouldn't go into the administration. But no, DeSantis is no dummy. I mean, DeSantis realized you got to play ball with if Trump is president, you got to play ball with Trump.
And I still think he does go into the administration. Remember, the Florida governor is only governor for one more year, and then he's termed out. So he'll be eligible the last 2 years to move on.
I think what he'll do is he'll write a book. He'll do a whirlwind media tour with that book basically he's going to start campaigning. As soon as his governorship is over, he's going to start campaigning, and he's going to start fundraising that first year out of office, and then he is just going to hit the ground running when the election year starts.
I think he becomes part of the administration, and that administration is already doing the campaigning for the next term, and that next term will be the combination of Rubio, the vice president, and DeSantis. I think that'll make your core team for next election.
Yeah, well, it's a question of who's going to be who's going to be running, and then two of those three are going to wind up on the ticket.
Right, and then JD or whoever the third is going to be will be Secretary of State. It's going to be, and obviously I think Rubio moves up because he's already Secretary of State.
Right.
Maybe it's Pence or Vance that moves up, and maybe it's DeSantis that comes in and plays that other role. So we'll see.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, but it's nice to know that. And here's the funny part. That's not even half of the bench. When I say the bench, I mean we've got some quality folks who could be potentially be running. They're just, in my opinion, the top tier. We got a whole cast of folks who would be really, really good.
You know what's interesting, and I know. Listen, I know we're getting a little off topic, but it's our show. The whole bench, like you said, is huge. Craig, I bet you it's close to 50% on that bench that want nothing to do with politics once Trump is gone. These are people that came from the private sector, are making 10% of the money they used to make, and said, "Now is my opportunity to make a difference and serve." And when Trump's gone, I bet they go back to what they were doing.
Quite possibly. I'm hoping that some of Trumpism has I'm hoping some of the best parts have rubbed off.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping some of his worst tendencies have not. Now the problem with that is some of his worst tendencies are tied to some of his greatest strengths.
I'm not familiar with any of these worst tendencies you speak of. I don't.
I think he has a tendency to feel like he needs to kick every barking dog. I think some arguments against him, he gives credibility because he tends to, why do you need to call a reporter on the plane Piggy?
Her name was Peggy.
Her name was not Peggy. Actually, no, her name was not Peggy. Her name was not Peggy. Maybe he thought her name was Peggy. Peggy the Piggy, but her name was not Peggy.
And listen, I can see how that happens, right? They're probably sitting in the office there on the plane, and he goes, "Well, we got to go talk to the media. Let's go put the little pigs in place." Somebody probably says a comment like that, and then he goes, "No, little piggy," or there's something. It's. I'm sure it had nothing to do. I don't even know who she is. I'm sure it had nothing to do with her appearance. It wasn't an insult on that. He was just calling him names. He could have said, "Dad, little, you this little piggy, you go sit in the corner. This little piggy, you go home." I knew what he meant. I knew immediately what he meant.
I know what he meant, and I'm like, someone else would have thought twice before using that particular thing. And that's, once again, I will continue to say that the things that he does are almost always good, almost always positive, almost always benefit America. Sometimes it's just the things that he says that creates the problem.
And I'll say most of those things that he says, they're planned, right? Like, look, here's you and I on a politics conservative, broadcast, right? Talking about him saying Miss Piggy, right? Or Little Piggy, right? Are we talking about Epstein anymore?
No, we are not talking about Epstein anymore.
Of
course, we weren't really into the whole Epstein. I was like, look, what comes out comes out. I mean, that was never really a thing on this particular program.
But it stopped the media from talking about Epstein for for the weekend.
That is true. I will say this. There are, and I think he did it more in the first term where he was like, he would say things that would literally just, the media would lose their minds over and then completely ignore the stuff that he was actually doing.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of that I will probably, I will wholly admit is probably part of the strategy. I just think some of the battles that he winds up in, it's like, really, did you have to? Or sometimes it's not, did you have to say that? Did you have to say it like that?
True, but his core like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I just think that he has hit that point of age, and I think 70 years old is when it hits a lot of folks. And I know some of our older audience members may get mad at me when I say this, but at a certain point at 70, and 70 is usually around when it happens with most folks, that filter, that button that you normally push when you're like, you think it, but you don't say it, that button either stops working or you just stop using it.
Yeah, and most of the times they reset the clock on it. So they take it back to when they were 20 years old, was what was acceptable then. They start saying now.
Yes. Oh, exactly. That's when you start getting the older folks like, yeah, that colored fella.
Yeah.
It's
What
like,
color is he, Grandpa? Yeah.
what color is it? It's like, no, yeah, that's not a word we use anymore, Grandpa.
Yep.
They're now people of color. That's what I said. The colored fella.
The colored people. No, you said people of
The
color.
colored people. Yeah. I referred to him as a fella. Am I not supposed to? Oh, I gendered him, didn't I?
That was I mean, that's just, see how times are different. I mean, that was the name of the movie that Whoopi Goldberg made, right? Back in that she won the Academy Award for, wasn't it?
That was The Color Purple, not The Colored People.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry.
It was one specific color.
Yeah.
That would be purple.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's about Grimace. Yeah.
There you go. It was about Grimace. It looks like America Crossfire has tuned in. Welcome back to the program. That is very, very good to see. In fact, we probably need to go ahead and get started before we run out of our entire hour here. Let's go ahead and start off with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there, get you some AR barrels. They got everything you need. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Hog Holsters, that's HAWGholsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. It's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount on the best in tactical concealed holsters. USCombatGear.com, where you can get everything you desire for tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS. Just get your group together, get your agency together, place an order, and that's uscombatgear.com.
Well, Mike, I would swear if I didn't know any better that you did that for a living.
I did it faster that time. You said to do it faster too.
You did. That was quite impressive, sir. Quite impressive. Yeah. You did a phenomenal job. Folks, these are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor, do them a favor, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and visit them by following the links in the description to this program. Go there, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. All right, getting into today's news. You know, one of the things that's been happening in the Democratic Party is there's all this talk about infighting now that's taking place within the Democratic Party. And well, in order to distract from the infighting that's taking place in the Democratic Party, they're trying to point to, quote unquote, infighting within the Republican Party. And one of the things that they are now pointing to is this memo or this message that was sent out by a Republican member of Congress, basically saying that, well, you know what? Other Republicans could resign following Marjorie Taylor Greene. And once again, this is reports coming from inside, or at least one individual within the caucus. It says here, Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene has indicated that other Republicans may resign from Congress in the middle of their terms. Greene announced her resignation from Congress on Friday in a 4-page letter following clashes with President Donald Trump, over key issues, including the release of government files related to Jeffrey Epstein. She then indicated she might not be the only GOP figure who might resign during the congressional term, writing on where folks are politically and what's going on. And I just got to say, I'm not believing this one.
That little piggy ran all the way home, Craig. Yeah, this is her talking smack. You know, that's all this is. Trying to keep herself relevant. And she's not.
Here's the thing, and this is where I think do I think that there are people who are frustrated with the administration? Yes. Do I? And more, I think when I say with the administration, there are people that are serving in the administration that do not serve at the whim of Congress, that are not going to kowtow to Congress. And they're like, look, the president has an agenda. He's moving his agenda forward. either help or get out of the way. And there are some people who want to push their own agenda. And that's just, once again, that happens no matter who the president is, the people in their party. And they're, because there's such a slim majority, there are people like Marjorie Taylor Greene who think that they can hold the administration hostage. And when they find out that they can't, they get offended.
Yeah, I think it's clear that, to me, I'm sorry, that she's the spotlight. She wants the spotlight, and she can't
Yes.
have the spotlight. And not only did she take the spotlight away from him, did he take the spotlight away from her recently? He took the funding away from her as well. He's going to support somebody else. Somebody else is going to get money. She's not going to put her own money in because she's not smart enough to manage her own money. They've taken the spotlight away from her. I think there's plenty of people in the administration that are probably upset because they never foresaw Trump being this successful, and they were hoping to move up in the ranks, and it's not happening. Now they're at the level they're going to be at, but they're good little piggies, and they're eating their roast beef, and they're sitting there, and they'll be fine. I'm gonna use little piggy in everything today, by the way.
There you go. Well, I think she's first of all, I get the impression that she was always more about becoming famous than being a congresswoman. That was always my perspective. That's always kind of how I've seen her and how I believe she's been.
Yep.
That having been said, then there was the attempt to, I will say, I think there are some people who thought, okay, well, it's time to start trying to claim MAGA, right? And when you start saying that Donald Trump, who invented MAGA, is not really being MAGA, I'm like, I'm sorry, it's his thing.
Yeah.
You know who
MAGA's
Donald Trump, who determines what MAGA is? Donald Trump determines what MAGA is. I'm sorry, but that's literally it. And you want to claim this mantle of MAGA, and it's like, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know what MAGA is. Whatever Donald Trump says it is, which is why I don't try and put an ideological bent on it. I don't try and put a philosophy behind it. It's about doing what we can do to make things better. And it's like sometimes it's going to be shifting sand.
Yeah. It's whatever he says it. Who's the chair of the Republican National Committee? Do you remember?
I don't remember who it was after his daughter-in-law was no longer chair.
So I mean, that's how irrelevant the position is.
Exactly.
Right? That's the point. You have the Republican National Committee chairman, but the head of your party is the president, and that's it. And MAGA is MAGA, and that's it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all there's to it.
And I think it's important for people to understand that MAGA is not conservatism. So don't confuse conservatism with MAGA. They're two different things. There are a lot of principles within MAGA that conservatives believe in, which is why conservatives support the president.
Yep.
There are some populist type things that many people in MAGA believe that sometimes president supports and sometimes he doesn't. I think JD Vance they're very kind of populist and protectionist.
Yeah.
That some conservatives believe in, some conservatives don't.
Yeah.
But politics is about bringing together a coalition of people to get the best good done, the closest to good done, right? Yeah. That means that you're not going to agree with everybody on everything. And it's okay to disagree. It's important to be constructive in that disagreement. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is rarely constructive in her disagreement. And the one thing about Donald Trump is if you're going to disagree, don't try and clown him publicly. Even if you're trying to be conciliatory and you're going to take him on publicly, he's going to take you on, and he is going to tear you down. That's him. That's how he does it. It's how he got elected both times. So yeah, that's just a bad thing. And if there's anybody who I see that has really learned that, there's two people I've identified that really have learned that. One is John Fetterman. The other is Marco Rubio. Now, these are two people who Trump has beat up on.
Yeah.
But now I won't say the Fetterman is pro-Trump, but you don't see the president out beating up on him.
Nope. Absolutely not.
So you got to work there are rules to the game, and there are rules to dealing with certain people, and there are rules to dealing with Donald Trump. And you don't want to play by those rules, that's fine. But that's like, there are rules to playing on the train tracks. And if you decide to break the rules, and you can't get mad when you get run over by the train.
That's it. That's it. Trump train's coming to town, baby.
Yes, it is. Yeah. But anyway, it's going to be real interesting to see who is going to carry on the mantle. I don't think anybody's going to do it as effectively as Donald Trump. But I think that one of the things I like about JD Vance is JD Vance articulates Trumpism in a way that makes a lot of it understandable. He articulates a lot of the positions in a way that the average person can understand.
He puts it out in his Midwesternism, whereas Trump puts it out in his New York City.
Exactly. And it's a little more palatable.
Yeah. Listen, the way they deal with people
Mm-hmm.
is and it's the same way Marco Rubio's. It's the way they talk to traffic. Okay.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is yelling at him, "Hey, you little pig, get out of the way!" Where JD Vance is like, "All right, let's go. This is why you got to move." And Rubio, he gives him that South Florida Cuban mean mug that you look at him and you're like, "Oh, that man's going to kill me if I don't move. I'm going to move." You just give me that look,
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Anyway. So yeah, no, there is no war. Well, I won't say that there is no fighting within the Republican Party. I will say this: there does appear to be a little bit of a battle and a fight regarding the whole Israel, and I don't know, man. I don't know what this whole fight it is over Nick Fuentes and all of it. I'm just like, there's a wing of the Republican Party that is I don't know. I'm just it's a small group of people, but you got the Candace Owens and the Tucker Carlsons that I'm like, what are you guys doing? I don't know if you know what I mean.
I don't want to get off on it too much, but it's almost as if it's some historical wrongfully placed racism.
Yeah.
Culturalism, it's
yeah. I also think though, when I look at the people who are kind of the head of that, they're what like MTG, they tend to be people who are attention grabbers.
Yes.
Right. Candace Owens, in my opinion, has always been about promoting Candace Owens. Tucker Carlson is a very, very smart guy. But Tucker Carlson's about promoting Tucker Carlson.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, that doesn't mean that they're both not right about a lot of stuff, because they are.
Yeah.
I agree with them on a lot of stuff. I also disagree with them on some stuff, some very significant stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: what's the broken clock is right twice a day.
It is. Unless it runs just slow, then it might be a month before it's wrong again.
That is true. Okay. All right. Unless it is just slow. There you go. Just ruin my joke. Ruin my euphemism.
I think it works too, because the two of them are right more than they're wrong. I think they might just be slow.
There you go. Okay, almost right.
Yeah.
Not quite right in the head. Oh, okay. All right, this next one here, we're gonna rush through these last few stories here, because they're stories, but I don't know how much they are stories, but I wanted to make sure to point them out. A lot of people, there was a big difference, and a lot of experts have decided to take a look at the difference between how President Trump handled the shutdown and how President Barack Obama handled the shutdown. And I thought this was very, very apt. It says here, Obama wanted shutdown pain to be felt by Americans, while Trump kept focus on Washington, experts argue. Let me read a little bit of it here. President Donald Trump and former President Barack Obama are polar opposites in many ways. But as with anyone who has sat behind the resolute desk, they do share some similarities. One thing both have in common is overseeing government shutdowns. One under Obama and two under Trump. And even in that sparse similarity, both men operated differently, particularly in most recent 43-day closure. While both congressional battles were centered on Obamacare, Obama put his shutdown at the center of attention, while Trump kept it more at arm's length. It says, well, anyway, I won't get into it. But the other thing that they point out in this particular piece, because I don't want to dig too much into the reading all of it. One of the things that they point out in this particular piece is how Barack Obama really focused on trying to make sure that the people felt it. In other words, his whole thing was Republicans are the ones who shut it down. We want the people to feel the pain. And so if the people feel the pain, then they'll pressure the government to open it back up. Whereas Donald Trump was like, well, look, the Democrats shut it down, but, just because Congress is not able to do their job doesn't mean that the people should have to feel the pain. And so he did whatever he could to try and mitigate that and make it so that they didn't necessarily feel the pain.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. I will also say, I don't think that it was Trump's or the administration's goal to defund Obamacare. Now, that might be a nice sideline, but their goal was to keep money from going to people that are here in this country illegally. Craig, it could have been free movie tickets. He would have been against it. Okay. It had nothing to do with Obamacare. That just happened to be part of the money that was going out.
Well, but in this case, in particular, in this second shutdown, his whole issue largely was it's a clean CR. The Congress's issue was it's a clean CR.
Yeah.
Look, we're going to talk about how we're going to address healthcare. And I was saying last week on the show, what I believe now, there's an opportunity because Republicans are going to have a chance to get some of the reforms that they've been wanting. The thing they're going to have to give up is going to be a temporary extension of some of the subsidies. Not necessarily to go towards illegal immigrants, but some of the subsidies they're going to extend. And they're going to have to do that in order to get permanent reforms in healthcare reform. I think that's what you're going to wind up in the end seeing. But what they didn't want that as a part of the CR. They want that negotiated separately.
Yeah, it's and listen, I watched a TV commercial last night where it told me 4 out of 5 people qualify for the Healthcare Act and only have to pay $15 or less a month for full coverage.
Right.
And I was like, "We're 4 out of 5 people illegal aliens?" Because that's about the only way that happens. But listen, it's the cost of healthcare is going to come down, Craig, even if we do nothing at this point, because the subsidies have stopped, right? So those subsidies are stopped. We're kicking those people out of the country. There's 8 million people worth of money out there now that's becoming available to offset those costs. All right. We don't have to have to get more from Congress, for it. It's already there. Listen, we've just made healthcare insurance easier by 8 million people. The way the free market works is those costs will come down. Right.
Well, the challenge is that when you make it that cheap, and this is the thing. So you make it that cheap. Number one, the costs of the healthcare never really went down. Who was paying the money?
Right.
For the premiums? That just changed. So healthcare costs and premiums were going up, but the actual cost of the healthcare, what happens is we've divorced the people paying for healthcare from the people who are getting the healthcare. And so you don't really know what the actual cost is. We need some reforms that will get it back to where, look, the people paying for the healthcare are the people who are getting the healthcare. Then all of a sudden you'll be like, well, wait, why am I paying for this? Why am I paying this for this? Why am I paying this for this? Why is this so much? Maybe I'll take this generic instead of getting this over here.
Well, I've said this here many times. Yeah. I have no issue, and the country doesn't have an issue with the healthcare industry. It's with the healthcare insurance industry that the problem occurs.
Well, some of it is with the healthcare, and some of it is with the healthcare industry. Only in that, largely in that. One of the things we have to deal with is we have to deal with malpractice law, how easy it is to sue, because there's a lot of things that we wind up having to do and medical providers wind up doing or not doing because they're afraid of getting sued. And those things that they do, or in some cases don't do, is what drives up the cost of healthcare.
So I don't believe the cost of healthcare goes up. I mean, the cost of healthcare is going to go up anytime the milk and eggs go up, because it takes the same things to run a doctor, a medical plaza, that it does to run your car. You have to have the assets available. But the issues being the insurance company. The insurance company says, all right, you have procedure A. Okay. You're telling me that procedure A costs $100. Okay. So I'm going to cover 50% of that because that's the insurance that we have this guy on. So the
Right.
doctor's office goes, well, I don't need 50%. I need 100%. That's the deal you made me when I signed on with your insurance company. So they
Right.
charge $200 now for a
Right.
$100 procedure, so they can get $100 back. I don't believe that's not health care. Health care is the guy putting a Band-Aid on your head. All right. The administration part of healthcare, the management system, is just trying to get what they're owed. Yet they've got the other people on the back end and the insurance company going, no, 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 because we told everybody this was going to be affordable and it's not. So we got to make it up somehow. So we're going to short the doctor.
Well, in most of the cases, that's the people you're talking about is actually the government, because 70% of all Americans are using some form of or have government paying for their
I
health care.
understand.
So the government is
Yeah.
actually the ones who are the sick when you're talking about it. And with
Yeah.
Obamacare, here was the problem. It was the government partnering with the health insurance companies, because here's the deal, folks. All that money from Obamacare, all the taxpayer money, all that goes to the insurance companies.
We do just like the government insurance and we do just like military insurance. When I'm not
Right.
on base, Craig, I go to a hospital, I go somewhere, and it's a pre-negotiated rate of what I'm getting done. That's what they
Right.
get. It's what they get. That's all there is to
Right.
it. The postal employees
Whether
are the
it
same.
covers their costs or not.
That's it. Yep.
There you go. There you go. All right, next one. DOJ files brief in Hawaii concealed carry case. And I wanted to point this one out because I admittedly, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, I was talking about how I was a little frustrated because I didn't feel like Pam Bondi. I was still wondering, okay, well, where's all this Second Amendment stuff that's supposed to be going on? Where's, I didn't feel like Pam Bondi was really doing enough. And I really felt like, to be quite honest, she was messing up. I still feel like she's messing up, but hey, this is one she's doing right. So I wanted to make sure that I gave credit where credit is due. In that she's filing a case, and this is a really kind of historic. The fact that DOJ actually filed a brief in the Hawaii Supreme Court case, in the Hawaii case, dealing with concealed carry permits, and referring to them as basically blatantly unconstitutional. It says here, licensed gun owners in Hawaii could face criminal charges for carrying a firearm at gas stations, restaurants, and grocery stores under a law the Justice Department calls blatantly unconstitutional, setting up a Supreme Court showdown that could affect millions of law-abiding residents in blue states. And the reason why she points out blue states is it's the blue states that have passed a lot of these sensitive places laws, and I didn't mean to just go to myself. But Mike, you remember we talked about this when Thomas wrote that opinion. He specifically said you can't just take every place and call it a sensitive place. He specifically told them not to do that. In places like California, places like New York, and places like Hawaii, turned around and wrote laws doing exactly that. If I take every place that is in public and say, okay, you can't have it on public transit, you can't have it at parks, you can't have it on a sidewalk, you can't have it in a restaurant, well then where am I supposed to carry a firearm?
Yeah. Do you remember? Let's see if you remember this. Do you remember the Hawaii Supreme Court reason why they allowed this to occur after it went to court?
I do not. Oh, that's right. Because they said that something about tribal God, Lord, had
The
nothing
spirit
to do.
of aloha.
There you
It's
go. The
not
spirit of
with
aloha. That was
We
it.
have in Hawaii, we have the spirit of aloha. And that went through and they let that fly. And if I recall, this is friend of ours, attorney Alan Beck's case that was just accepted up there. He's in fact, I was chatting back and forth with him recently. He went and bought his first fitted suit to go to Supreme Court with.
There you go. Well, all I know is that I'm hoping that Justice Thomas, if he doesn't write the main opinion, I'm hoping he writes a separate opinion, and in that opinion tells them, "I told you, MFers."
Yeah, this has the ability, and look what happened from all the way back to McDonald and all the way through Bruin, right?
Right.
Look at how, and then of course, Craig, the original one, the case, the Washington D.C. one, Heller 1,
yeah.
Heller 2, McDonald,
Right.
and this. Look how each time we've gotten a good case ruling out of them, the justices have gotten more and more detailed on how not to violate the Second Amendment. When this happens, I think we see that. I hope it's Thomas, but this one is going to include a step-by-step, step one, this, step two, this, so that they're not going to have to extrapolate anymore a historic test, any kind of test system at all. They're going to be able to say, did you do step 1 through 5? Then it's unconstitutional.
Step 1, don't do it.
Yeah.
Step 2, see step 1.
Yeah, it's it. Yeah.
Step 3, look at step 2 and step 1 and don't do it.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The blatancy, and once again, it goes back to the difference in judicial philosophies between the right and the left. The right believes that your job is to interpret situations based on the law and apply the law and the Constitution and precedent to make a ruling in this area.
Yeah.
Democrats or the left believe that their job is the judiciary is to right wrongs, is to create justice in their own eyes.
Yeah.
And if that means ignoring precedent, they'll do it. If it means ignoring the law, they will do it.
Yep. Agreed.
I mean, don't know how it could be more obvious.
Yep.
All right, this last story here, and this is not going to surprise you. Mr. Fang Fang, or otherwise known as Congressman or Representative Swalwell, is running for governor in the state of California. And dude actually had the nerve, Mike, he actually had the nerve to say, hey, you know what I would really like to see? Tell you what I'd like to see. I would like to see people be able to vote, not by mail, but not just illegal immigrants being able to vote, but I'd like to see people to be able to vote by phone.
I want us to be able to vote by phone. I think every Californian
Vote by phone.
Vote by phone. Yeah, if we can do our taxes, do our make our healthcare appointments, make essentially do your banking online, you should be able to vote by phone. Make it safe, make it secure, but it's actually already happening all over the United States. I want us to be a blue state that doesn't do just a little bit better than like Georgia or Alabama when it comes to like voting access. I want us to max out democracy. Also, as it relates to democracy, if you wait in line for 30 minutes or more, if you do want to vote in person, I think you should fine every county for every minute that a person has to wait longer. We have to be better, not just a little bit better than the other states. The DMV. I don't think Californians should have to go in person to the DMV anymore. I think we can do that virtually. I think you can have the DMV employees do it.
Okay.
Hey, Craig,
couple of observations. Yeah, go ahead.
Ask me how I could cheat on an election without asking me how I'm going to cheat on an election.
How are you going to cheat on an election without cheating on an election?
Oh, I'm gonna, it's just like on, America's Greatest Dancers or whatever it is, Dancing with the Stars. I vote here. That's.
Oh God, this is okay. Number one, at the end there, he talked about DMV. Yeah, you don't actually have to go to DMV. You can do it online. They have kiosks all around the place now in California. Yeah, you don't have to go in. So thank you, dumbass. That's number one. Number two, he's like, well, you want to make people wait? If you vote in line, you're going to find the counties. Please go ahead and do it. Because in almost every single case where there are people standing in lines waiting, they're almost all Democrat-run counties. Almost all of them where it
takes time to put the cheat in effect. You got to move the ballots around. You got to change the computers. You got to.
Exactly. You don't see that happening in rural counties, in red counties. Because guess what? They know how to run a business. They know how to run things. Anyway. And then finally, voting by phone. Do I really need to explain why this is a stupid idea, Mike?
No. I think we're all on board.
If you don't know that it's a stupid idea, you shouldn't be voting. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't know any other way to explain that.
Get him some pudding. This guy's done.
There you go. Get him some pudding. Fang, get your boy.
Get
your boy.
Hook him up.
Hook him up, please. All right, folks, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces, one word, just like it is right up there. You're going to get a discount when you get your holster. So do that thing. All right, this first one is hilarious because, God, Timu Obama is just, I don't even know what to tell you about, dude. He is just an idiot. And here he is saying something incredibly stupid and being like revealed as an idiot, like almost immediately after.
Was that a serious question or a serious statement from malignant clown James Comer that I had Jeffrey Epstein over for dinner, that I accepted money from Jeffrey Epstein? What's extraordinary to me about the clown show on the other side of the aisle is that they lie with impunity.
Let's read it to make sure. To Jeffrey Epstein, and that's the real Jeffrey Epstein, not Jasmine Crockett's Jeffrey Epstein. This is the real Jeffrey Epstein. From Hakeem Jeffrey's campaign. Dear Jeffrey, we are thrilled that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, one of the rising stars of the New York delegation, sometimes referred to as Brooklyn's Barack. Hakeem is committed to electing a Democrat majority in 2014 and is encouraging his friends to participate in a DCCC fundraising dinner with President Obama and Hakeem Jeffries. It ends with a number for Jeffrey Epstein to call to go to the dinner and, quote, get an opportunity to get to know Hakeem better. Here's the evidence. The email speaks for itself. The only stone-cold liar in this debate is Hakeem Jeffries.
Pretty
Wait.
much.
Was it Hakeem Jeffries or a Hakeem Jeffries?
I think it was that Hakeem Jeffries.
Okay.
I think that was Hakeem.
Yeah. You know, you did refer to him as the Timu Obama, but there's one big difference between the two of them, and that's from all outward appearances, Jeffries appears to have been born in this country.
Yes, you do have something there. You do have a good point there. This next one, and we don't normally do like commercials necessarily, other than promoting our sponsors, but this was one that I really felt y'all needed to hear.
Letting the most sensitive members of society being the ones deciding what everybody else gets to listen to and watch.
Yeah.
But luckily, we have something for that.
Oh.
Tears of the Left bourbon.
Wow.
He saw a spot for a plug and he was like, I'm taking it.
Amazing.
It has a nice aroma of January 6th. And you can, if
I'm gonna need a top. You need to top me off.
The second glass of it, though, actually, you can actually smell Hillary Clinton's concession speech.
Oh, it smells like poop.
It smells like poop. Okay, yeah. Fun stuff. And this last one here, well, let's just say anyone over the age of 40 probably resembles this remark.
Pulled my back again. Heard it crack. Now I can't bend. Pulled my back, feel like crap. Sour whack, heard it crack. Need a quack. Pulled my back.
Yeah.
So, no lie, I had the tooth thing done and a couple other doctor's appointments this week. I've had some days off, so just catching up on annual physicals and stuff like that, right? And my doc asked, well, was the young nurse. She was probably between 20 and 25, right?
Okay.
And she asked what my level of pain was. And I said, for what? I'm here for a physical. She goes, like everyday stuff. I go, between a 3 and 5. She goes, you have things that hurt to a 5? I go, yeah. She goes, well, how can we report them? I go, well, because that's just a normal pain you live with every day. She's like, you should be living with no pain. I don't understand it. And I'm like, how old are you? And she told me, and I'm like, and I'll wait till you're like, 50. It's just,
I'm like, when how you lay in bed at night is dictated by what's going to be hurting within the first hour of sleep.
Yep.
Then you've reached maturity.
Yeah. I'm hoping, Craig, and you'll get this. I'm hoping that the pain level I have now that I live with is kind of like running. You know how when you go running, your legs will start to hurt, but when you get to the 2-3 mile part, it just goes numb. I'm hoping that happens in the rest of my life also at some point. It's been hurting long enough. Let's just let it go numb now. Let's just let it go.
Well, it's either that or you've gotten used to it, so you don't feel it anymore. Kind of like that background noise, like when you live next to train tracks.
Yeah,
you don't even hear the train anymore after a while.
Yeah,
not that the train's not there, not that it's not making noise. You're just used to it.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, that brings us to the end of the program. But before we go, we're going to give one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. Say hi to Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. They've got all the AR barrels you need. Man, incredible specials going on right now. Check them out. You can get AR barrels. You get all kinds of other barrels that you need. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And please do, because your future right now looks like Newsom and Swalwell. So thanks. Hog Holsters, HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And uscombatgear.com. You can get military gear, police gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, personal security, everything you need. Get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
Once again, folks, please take a moment and visit our sponsors. Follow the links in the description of this program, and make sure you tell them those the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. And with that, we're going to call it a day. We will likely be back. Will we be back tomorrow, man? Are we on tomorrow? Or are you going to be cooking?
That's the shot. We'll give it a shot. I might be, like I said, I might show up looking like the Swedish chef, but I'll be here.
Okay. All right. So we will be here tomorrow. So hopefully you'll be here with us, enjoying the program. I know a lot of folks are not even doing their podcast this week. I'm like, this is an opportunity for us to shine, man. Look, people get some original content.
I think we should have us on Thursday, Craig, as well, but it's just video of us laying on the couch, sleeping, holding our belly.
That's not necessarily a horrible idea. Well, maybe depends. As long as it's not smell-o-vision, because I might be making room.
The old tryptophan.
All right, y'all. Good talking with y'all. We will see you mañana.